the game and hold on, maybe. But I'm done with the waiting, done with the waiting. I'm done with playing nice. Now look me in the eyes. Tell me, tell me, tell me what you see inside. Not gonna ask you twice. Not looking for your lies. Tell me, do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Those who wanna play by the rules end up last with nothing to obtain. So let's level up to remain. 'Cause I'm done with the waiting, done with the waiting. I'm done with playing nice. Now look me in the eyes. Tell me, tell me what you see inside. Not gonna ask you twice. Not looking for your lies. Tell me, do you wanna go? 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 I'm riding the wave tonight. Gonna try it while the world's bright. Got room for one if that's alright. That's alright. Do you wanna go? 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 Do you wanna go?
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday and happy August. Can you believe it's August? Thursday, 4th of August, of course, is Meghans' birthday. And do get ready to get generous or just a little bit more active on social media. If you are unable to donate, you all know that always helps. So don't feel bad if you cannot donate money-wise. In members news, I've just opened up my dashboard and I can see that a couple people have joined. So welcome to, let's have a look now. Church Nelly, thank you so much for becoming a member. Dara Edgarhill, Ray Raquel, Black Cougar 195, and also to Melinda Shepherd for upgrading to Golden Squaddy. So thank you all so much for your support and everybody who's become a member. There's actually 70 members in total. And I did say, and I haven't forgotten, when I get to, I think, 100 members, because then I think it'll be a little bit more fun and interactive, I'll start doing like Squaddies After Dark. And these will be videos that are only available to members, and also surrounding topics that would otherwise get me flagged anyway if I made them as normal videos. So I look forward to that, and I hope you look forward to it too. But let's see who's in the chat. Turns to be his. I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. Nice to see you. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Polena. Hi, Sherry. Fancy. Kate Hunter, hello. That looks like a new name, or at least one I haven't seen. Kate Costello, hi. Ursula, hello. See, I definitely notice when you all aren't in the chat for a while and then you come back. It's like, oh, there you are. Where have you been? Patricia, Hoping to watch a podcast live. Well, welcome to the live. Welcome all 350 of you that are in the live. Thumbs up. I am gonna make it a quick one as possible because I've been shouting a lot today, and my voice is like you can hear that it's croaky because we've been doing a lot of moving work. I needed to raise my voice a little, not in an angry way. Marilyn King, hello. You got a new tablet, so I can use only for the podcast. Too modern. I'm having a hard time finding anything. Well, you probably lovely that you got a new podcast. Sorry, a new tablet that you want to use just for the podcast. That's amazing. I believe that you need to just go to like the App Store on your tablet and just download YouTube. It'll be a free app, and then just search for Duchess of Success. Let's see. Emma D, hello, hello. Hi, Faith. Miss P Talks. Hi, happy Monday. Hi, Kat Harlem. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Veronica, Mina, Roseanne. All right. I think all the usuals are in the chat, and I think do we have a new member? Yes, we do. Lynn, welcome to the members club. Do you all like the new song? I switched it up a little bit. So yeah, let's start with this. Oh my God. Prince William should not be king because thanks to him, half of my feed has been peen and butthole or things that look like peen and butthole. This thing has been trending now for 3 days. People won't let it go. And I saw a couple of people joking that, oh my gosh, Black Twitter's going to come for William. Honey, it's not just Black Twitter, it's the whole of Twitter. Like, actually, most of the posts that have been coming up on my feed as suggestions are not Black Twitter. They're actually like British and English people. So everyone knows, like everyone, and the most random accounts as well I'm seeing posting about William. So I feel like this is going to be like a Watergate moment, like a moment where like the tide really, maybe not like a Watergate moment, but like a moment where the tide began to turn. And I hope this proves, I finally hope this proves that in the end, it was a small but loud minority and the overbearing press that was largely responsible for the vitriol here in the UK, at least, against Meghan. It was not everybody. It was not everybody in the UK at all. You saw how many people showed up to the wedding. You saw how many people would show up to events. Meghan was loved here. And I feel like I have to say that. And yes, I am being a little bit defensive because I think there was a time in the squad where it was like everything and, everyone from the UK is just awful and, hates Meghan. It was a loud minority and the press, which is just, it's all pervasive. It's not like you can escape it. And what I've seen the last few days is the ordinary, I think, person finally starting to, even if it's just in a joking way and about William, coming out and saying, do you know what? We can see what's going on here. But yeah, I am ready to let the Prince of Pegging die. Hi, Dorothy Ross. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Rahini. I am done. I'm done with the Prince of Pegging now. Let's move on to the Prince of Begging, Charles. Oh, you love the new song. Fantastic. Roseanne, the song makes you shake your booty. Yeah, I like to switch it up every now and again. All right, so let's get on, or let me see if there's any comments before we continue. Hi, Cinderella. Spouses of second sons always get raked over the coals by British tabloids. Fergie got it too. Yes, they do. But not as bad as Meghan, and not for the same reasons, of course. Sharpie, it's embarrassing for him, but he got what he deserved. A light needs to be shined on Kate. because she was part of the smear. Yeah, I feel like this was William's summer. Um, Kate will get hers, but actually on Kate, I do want to say something actually quite important. I never started this channel to hate anyone. I started this channel to call people out. And regardless of how I feel about these people, I do still have boundaries and lines. There is a video, so there's a photo of Kate that is making the rounds on Twitter, and I've seen Squaddies share it, and it's of Kate, and you can basically see her, her lady parts. Now, I don't know whether that photo is real or doctored. It's like her skirt has kind of like flown up from the front, mind you, not from the back, from the front. I don't know whether it's real or doctored, but whether it's real or doctored, I will not be sharing that image. I do not encourage Squaddies to share that image because I don't think that's something that Meghan would want. And if men were sharing around such a picture, they'd be held to pay. And it's just not the right thing to do. Even if it's Kate, that's just not something that I feel comfortable with. And I was a little disappointed to see Squaddies sharing that image around, because I would never do that to any woman, even if I don't like her. And also, always be mindful, everyone, that there is an attempt to bring down the squad to make us look awful. All we're doing is pushing back against hatred, pushing back against racism, but they would love, to have a nice big story in their papers about the Sussex squad was, sharing around naked pictures of Kate. That's what they would love. So let's not give that to them. And it's just plain wrong. Just felt like I had to say that. Hi, Verda. I'm sure that there are beautiful people in the UK who love Meghan, and I'm glad that Prince Harry finally found his soulmate, somebody to make him happy. And I agree with you. It was the UK press, yes, but it was just so overbearing, and it just felt like a big weight at the time. I just think finally, the tide is turning. Elaine Parker, Duchess of Success, as a fellow Brit, I felt the same. I had to keep saying it's not the public, it's the tabloids, yes. And even for the part of the public that it was just a loud minority. I actually think in general, most people are actually just very ambivalent to the royals outside of our little bubble, because if they were actually concerned with the royals, that concerned about the royals, there would have been chaos marching down to the palace a long time ago. Bonnie, I'm glad to hear that many people in Britain like Meghan, because I always like to visit there. It was so disappointing to think that they hated a lovely and nice Meghan. Well, it definitely was not everyone, darling. It definitely was not. Don't let it put you off. But I would also encourage you to explore more outside of London and England, because there's a lot to see. Don't just come and see the castles. If you want to protest anything, protest the royal castles. Go see everything else. Karen, I bet Harry felt what was coming once he left, that his father and brother would start turning on themselves. Yes, and that's exactly what's happened. We're going to get a little bit into that in a sec. Dina, yes, I totally agree. People are starting to open their eyes, not only Squaddies, but non-Squaddies as well. Yes, so many non-Squaddies. So many. Sister and Doctor says, I agree. I don't like the picture. We have to rise above that. Yeah. That's I draw a line on that one. I have to. It's just not. I don't feel comfortable. I will sit here and criticize the royals for everything they deserve to be criticized for. I'm not going to share around a picture of a naked woman. Like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do that. Alan Vernon, thank you so much for the super sticker. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Had a few stories to get through today. Okay, let's start off with the football. Well done to the girls. Um, they've been screaming football's coming home for what, the last 66 years, and the girls said we'll get it done. And of course the jokes and the memes and the Photoshop was was wild. Now, yes, William was there. He went alone. He did not take Charlotte for reasons obvious, but a lot of people did pick up that he had not taken Charlotte. I don't see the little girl doesn't have to shouldn't have to go through any embarrassment because of what the father's doing. So that was probably a good choice, but very unfortunate that she didn't get to see it. But lots of little girls around the country did. I think this is an amazing moment, not really just for English football, UK football. I think this is an amazing moment for women's sport and football in general. You know, the American team also have done an amazing job of kind of lifting up the sport of women's football around the world. There was a time when the FA actually banned women's football, saying that it was unsuitable and shouldn't be encouraged. So this isn't just a moment for England. I think this is a moment for young women who want to get into the sport. But of course, people were coming. We can't ignore with the memes and the Photoshop. Someone saying, "Oh, this is actually Munya, who does amazing TikToks about the Royals. By the way, go and check out his TikTok." Saying, "Disappointed the commentators. The camera panned to William at full time, and not one of them said it's level pegging." Hardy har 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 har. Everybody was having a joke. Not so funny. The Daily Fail. I mean, what do we expect? Every other newspaper went with a picture of the girls celebrating as groups, and then the Daily Fail decided to just use the one picture where there was a female player taking off her shirt and just in her sports bra, which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that picture. It's just the fact that every other, even the Sun, chose a picture of just the girls celebrating, and that just happens to be the one that the Daily Fail chooses, and it just really speaks a lot for who the Daily Fail is all the time. Gary Lineker was getting some heat because of a joke he made about the Lionesses, which he quickly deleted. But that was that about the football. William was booed in pubs, not in the actual stadium. I've seen two videos where when he came onto the screen, there was audible boos from people that were in the pubs. So he managed to escape it in the crowds, but at home and at other venues, people let it be known how they feel. And I also just think that I do wish that people in the UK eventually grow a backbone when it comes to meeting and greeting the royals. Because here you have a man who's allegedly, running through the rose bushes um, behind his wife's back and pruning roses. And here he is, shaking the hands of most celebrated women's sportswomen. And eventually, I would just, I don't expect in a situation like this anybody to cause a scene. I'm not saying that anybody should, do a Will Smith and slap him in the face or anything. But it's just, the glee of it. Just, you can be, if it was me, I think I'd just be very casual, shake hands, look down, like polite, but I'm not paying you dust. And I'd like to see more of that, because these people don't deserve, I don't think they deserve politeness like this anymore. William doesn't even deserve to be here. They could have chosen someone else. But that's all I have to say about the football. I'll read your comments before we continue. Look at Megan's face card at 41. Amazing. Hi, Vanessa Jones. Hi, thank you everyone for joining us. Definitely got the moonshine. Um, Roseanne, I'm not a fan of football, but I'm really happy the Lionesses won. Yeah, I'm really happy as well. I have to say, I don't watch football, and one of the reasons is because of the hooliganism, a lot of the sexism and misogyny from the men's side, the ill behavior of footballers. And there was one particular rape case concerning a footballer that became so toxic in this country. Like it became like a whole conversation, and the way the fans were acting, it became so toxic. Like the way I saw the fans acting and the way this guy was getting defended. That's actually the reason why I stopped watching football. So I'm so glad that the women's because that whole like situation was so triggering for me. So I'm so happy that the women's side is getting so much attention, because I would definitely love to start watching women's football. Lynn, yeah, well, they were always looking awkward. There were so many jokes um, about like William standing up, William sitting down, like everybody looking for signs. Like, oh, y'all, it's been 3 days. I'm tired of seeing dildos on my screen. Yes, Rohini, the Daily Fell is gross. Oh, Rusi, greetings from Zimbabwe. I didn't know you were in Zimbabwe, Rusi. That's lovely to hear. I'm from Zambia, right? So we're neighbors. Joyce, it's surprising that the US communications guru had not been able to stop this on William or the men in grey. They usually can contain this kind of press, but that's modern day internet. Yes, because the modern day internet is not the press. They have been able to contain it in the press, though. They have. But let me just show you this. So if you type in Prince William, this is what comes up. There's nothing about Prince of Pegging. Nothing. So they are containing it in the press. They are. And there's been a couple of publications, gossip sites that I'm sure have gotten letters from lawyers because they've taken the articles down. In complete contrast, as usual, while they've got a blackout on anything William related that's embarrassing, they are going all out with the usual faux news, fake news about Harry and Meghan. They're unhappy in America. They're urged to accept an olive branch. All of this nonsense. So Lee Thompson is doing a great job, and the Men in Grey controlling the mainstream press. But how are you going to control millions of Twitter users, Instagram users, Facebook users? You can't. Rochelle, where do the Cambridges live right now? And are they living together? So apparently they moved to. Did they move to Windsor, or they're moving out of Kensington to Windsor? I have no idea if they're living together. Allegedly, they're separated. But there's no real confirmation on that. But you look at the body language between them and the way they interact with each other. Do they seem like two people that live in the same household? I'll let you decide. Effany Green, yes, it's too easy to leave satire and humor ahead for the mean. We are being monitored and possibly infiltrated. I believe that 100%. I've seen so many profiles on Twitter that have popped up quite recently, and I know that they're not typical Sussex squad from the way that they talk. They play like they are, but when you've been around this space for so long, you hear the way people talk, particular language that we use, the words that we use, the phrases that we use. And I just think that we need to be very, very careful, because they are clearly, the way they're going so hard on social, they're clearly trying to weaken, infiltrate, and make the squad look bad. Bonnie, I'm surprised they didn't send Kate to the game. I think she was doing something else. But you know what? Kate would have still been a better option. All right. So, on to the next thing, the Diana HBO documentary. Now, when I first heard about this, I was like, oh, another documentary. But y'all, HBO has understood the assignment. If you go to the community tab, I did actually put a link if you want to go watch the trailer. It's going to premiere on August 13th. Um, there is one particular part of this documentary, and I've taken of the trailer, and I've taken the stills. So this is from the very, very end. Harry's face is looking into a camera. There's all of those paparazzis around him. They're standing to the side, and Diana is standing on the other side, looking down at her little boy. You can see the pain in Diana's face. She knows the life that her little boy is going to be subjected to. And Charles is talking to Harry and he's saying, look into the camera. Look, there's people in there trapped. And the trailer ends on the word trapped. And Harry himself said the following about his family in the Oprah interview. He said, wait, sorry, let me go and find it. He said, I myself was trapped as well. I didn't see a way out. I was trapped, but I didn't know I was trapped. My father and my brother, they are trapped. They don't get to leave, and I have huge compassion for that. So I feel that the way HBO has framed this documentary just based on the trailer, I feel like it's a documentary we do actually need right now. I think we need a refresher on Diana's legacy and the great things that she did. I think we need a refresher on how the institution treated her. And I do not think that this documentary, based on the trailer, is going to be kind to the institution at all. I think we need a refresher on how there were actually some members of the public, even women, that crucified Diana, the charity work that she was trying to do. She was too progressive for some people at the time. Not everybody was a Diana stan. And also a reminder of how, of why people loved her and why her legacy lives on. So I do believe that HBO are going to do a very good job with this. But this last bit of the trailer, looking at these pictures, I mean, just look at those grown men photographers. That makes me so uncomfortable just looking at that picture and knowing that they are pointing all of those cameras at a little baby. And it's like, do you not take a step back and go, you know what? This what I'm doing is not okay. And no wonder Harry is um so engaged and so passionate about mental health. And you can see that he's doing the work because, honey, it doesn't matter how much money or privilege you have. If this is your reality from the time that you were a baby, literally a baby, being fed to the wolves like this, you're going to be messed up. Patricia, I have nothing against certain communities, but the Daily Fell have a jealousy of women. I wonder why. Do you know, it's shocking that the Daily Fell actually has a whole female section. And I do think that they play into a lot of women's insecurities. That's what basically the female section of the Daily Mail, and it's literally called Female. That's what that section feeds into. It feeds into women's insecurities. And women who are insecure often have internalized misogyny and are okay with casual sexism. And then you have the other side of the Daily Mail that is more, caters more to the male gaze. And so if you're a woman with internalized misogyny, you're going to be okay with that. And if that's, and if they're pushing an image of women as being objectified to the male readers, it ruins how they view the women in their lives. Kitty Reader. I hope you enjoyed the booing as much as I did. Well, I didn't hear any booing in the stadium, so if I'm wrong, please do let me know. But I only saw videos of booing in pubs. Cinderella, I think the Sapphire engagement ring is cursed by all who wear it. Yeah, I think so. Roseanne, I hope women's football remains hooligan and racism free. Then I'll watch it. I think it will remain relatively hooligan free, but there are calls to diversify the team, so we'll see how that goes. Yes, Rahini, the US taxpayer are getting fleeced. Pay for that media blackout for sure. Um, Harper, is the moving almost done? It should be done by Friday. Thank you for asking. We're a little bit delayed. You can probably hear in my voice I'm tired, but I'm pulling through. It'll be done. Libel, there is a lot of sites on Instagram calling themselves Sussex B2. It's all foreign language that looks like a Middle Eastern or Arabic. Look out for fake accounts. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we do have international fans, and they will post in their language. I think it's just more to look out for, if they're quite recent. Um, are they posting at an incredibly high rate? Do they retweet more than they write original tweet? There's kind of markers to tell, and then they'll kind of sound like normal squaddies, and then get unnecessarily nasty all of a sudden. That's another really big sign because they want to make us look bad. Remember that, guys and dolls. Michael, not that I had forgotten, but after watching The Crown season 4, I despise Charles even more. He tortured his wife over that Rottweiler. Yes. And I think the next season of The Crown is not going to be any better. Duchess says that little boy looks like William. Oh, it could actually be William, It could actually be William. Either way, the message is still the same. A little boy um, looking down into a camera like that, and this basically, you know, showing what their entire lives are going to be, staring into the face of a camera with a bunch of people staring back, and they're trapped in the lens. Bonnie, how awful! History repeats itself. The Sussex and Cambridge kids are going to hear awful things about their parents. Yeah. Unfortunately, well, for the Sussex kids, they're going to hear awful things about their parents, which are not true. The Cambridge kids, they're going to hear unfortunate, nasty things about their parents, which are true, but unfortunate for both sides. Oh, thank you so much, Slavisa M. Gragas. I hope I said that right. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name, but much appreciated, darling. Oh, it is William. Okay, sorry, it is William. Um, Horrible still though, and it still very much reflects on what Harry was saying. Nia, I saw the trailer, and the one line that stuck out to me was, "When you put a modern person in an Asian institution, they will be destroyed." I immediately thought of Megan. Yes, and a lot of people in the comment section were saying that as well. And HBO obviously is American, and the smear campaign has not worked in America. And I think this is going to be both a refresher and an education for the American audience that maybe don't know a lot about the royals or too deeply about the story of Diana. So ultimately, a PR nightmare. Just Joyce, the same thing will unfortunately happen to Charlotte and Louis and the Spares. Okay, so over on the other side of the planet, literally, um, in Australia, Lydia Thorpe refers to the Queen as a colonizer while making an oath in the Senate. So let me just pull up the story on this so I can read it in a little bit more detail. Basically, what happened was she went in to give her swearing, right? And initially, when she was giving the speech, she said to the colonizer, Her Majesty. Now, the oath, sorry, not speech, it's an oath. The oath has to be said word for word and correctly. So she had to say it again and say it properly. And I just find that just insane that you literally have to stand there and say that, and that is part as your political oath as a politician, she's a First Nations Green senator, and I just find that wild. She said in the past that the government will consult extensively on the Indigenous voice. When she actually called the Queen a colonizer, there was just moans across the entire room. For what, I don't know, because did she lie? Where was the lie? There was no lie. But of course, there were moans and groans from the usuals in the crowd who didn't like what she said. But I actually want to read a little bit more about her because I find this quite interesting. Let me see if I can find an article. Okay, so this is from People magazine I'm reading. An Australian senator took aim at the Queen by calling her a colonizer as she recited the oath of allegiance to the monarch, who is still the head of state in Australia. Lydia Thorpe, the first Aboriginal Australian senator from Victoria, who is of the Warrangunai. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I cannot say the names properly. Descent, had her swearing-in ceremony on Monday at Australia's Parliament House. She approached the floor with her fist raised in the air and was asked to recite the traditional oath of office. So this is actually an oath of office that they do take. Thorpe also turned around to tell someone, "You've got to have some respect." And then she was told she had to repeat the oath as printed on the card, which she did while holding up her fist. Wow. Well, you go, girl. Thorpe's party, the Australian Greens, says on its website, the continued legacy of colonialism has not yet fully recognised the sovereignty of our First Nations peoples across the entire continent of Australia. This is wrong and must be made right. Endemic racism, oppressive laws and policies, misunderstanding, ignorance, and lack of knowledge and education has meant that First Nations peoples have generationally been subject to policies and legislation that have impoverished many lives. At present, many still live in poverty and disadvantage without the same rights and services other Australians enjoy. This must be changed so that future generations of First Nations children can dream of better things. Amen to you, girl, and I wish her the best of luck. I do believe that Australia will eventually have another referendum on the Queen. They had one in 1997 and it was incredibly close. And I think if they were to have one now, it would be to vote to take away the Queen as the head of state, and it would probably be a very, very clear win, not a close one like last time. Messi Thomas, what about the birthday? For Meghan, I believe that community, the Sussex Squad community events and probably Sussex Squad podcast will confirm and tweet something. But of course, as soon as I know, I will let you know as well. Oh, FYI, I forgot to put it on a slide, but we are definitely not seeing Philip's will. So well done to The Guardian for trying, but whatever is in there, they are hella embarrassed about it. They don't want it out. And the excuse they're giving is to preserve the dignity of the Queen. Well, what in there is so unbecoming? I mean, what could be worse at this point? Is there another pedo prince song that we don't know about? Slovak. And on Twitter, they had dildos in some kind of chair. Yes. Oh my God, this video is probably going to get so flagged. My last video has been flagged so badly as well. And I haven't had a flag like that for a long time. Like they're still, when you get a flag, they have to watch the video manually word for word and see if you said it. Probably because I said, a couple things about that terrorist and that terrorist incident that probably flagged it as well. But saying dildo like so many times, it's probably gonna get this video flagged. But yeah, that chair that you saw, it's a joke version of the Game of Thrones chair. And people have been sharing that around. And I really just want to stop seeing it now. Oh, I'm done. Annie, it takes guts to call the Queen a colonizer. Yes, and she said it so unapologetically. She didn't whisper it. She said it out loud, honey. Yes, Emerald, she spoke the truth. Adrian, I want Charles and Camilla to see that Diana will never be forgotten, and we are going to make sure of that. I haven't had time to tweet it today, but I did actually make a poster with different hashtags. And basically, what I want to do this month is just do lots of posts and maybe some videos on Diana's legacy. And I encourage all of you, if you're on Twitter or you have platforms, to do the same. Sylvia, DOS, it's so sad how hateful old men and old women in the UK are. I read that lying man that wrote that lying book was on 60 Minutes Australia. Talking crazy, but I read there was pushback. Yeah, there was a whole segment on 60 Minutes Australia with that guy, that slime that wrote that slimy book. Um they're really pushing it down there. And here as well, but I feel like a lot of people can see past it. I think this will just be a blip. And of course they had to come out with yet another biography because they know that Harry's is coming. So I feel like the Tom Bower one was like the last push, unless Camillas one, which is being written by Angela Leving, unless that's gonna come out first, this will probably be the last one before Harry's book just eclipses them all. Yes, Wendy Lohman, that Australian senator, spoke her truth, and the truth of many, I think. All right, on to the next thing. Oh, there isn't a next thing. There is not a next thing. So, oh, actually, one last thing that I did want to mention since I brought Angela Levin up. There was this brilliant segment, and the mixed race lady in the middle with the dreads, she pushed back against Angela Levin so well. But there was one part that really made my blood boil. And what the black lady in the middle, what she said was, oh my gosh, what did she say? She said something about Meghan. Oh, okay. She said, "You just want Meghan to divorce Harry, don't you?" Something along those lines. And then Angela Levin came back and said, "Oh, well, or she divorces him." These people literally want Meghan to divorce Harry, or Harry to divorce her. But even better if she did it, and then they can get a laugh of it. The fact that she would sit there and say that this is the woman who's writing Camilla's biography, and you're saying that you want Meghan to divorce Harry. Now, Angela Levin got her 15 minutes with Harry. She wrote this Newsweek piece and she's turned it into an entire career. It's pathetic. She is a stalker with a press pass, and I don't know. Listen, all of their revenge is coming, but she, more than anyone, God, I'm begging you, please, give her karma soon. She did a whole article for the Daily Fail where she was talking about how, her mother called her a devil child. And well, girl, she wasn't wrong. Because what is wrong with you? Like, leave Harry and Meghan alone. And I don't just, with Angela Levin specific, there are royal reporters that I can say they're just in it for the money. With Angela Levin, I truly believe that there's something personal with her. I truly believe that psychologically there is something wrong with this woman. Because the way she goes on is completely different from the other royal reporters, and they're all kind of nasty in their own ways. But I really do think for them, it's just about the money. For Angela, there's something about the way that she goes on. It is personal. And quite frankly, it's deranged. And with that, I am done. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you so much for your donations and our new members, and all of you for being as awesome as you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll get through your comments and we'll call it a day. Lynn, Indigenous people were treated inhumanely in Australia. Yes, sweetheart. Yes, there's a whole history. Oh my goodness. Yes, read into it. The Aborigines. Yes. Similar thing in New Zealand with a Maori. Trader CC, I also believe that some women are addicted to negativity. They sure play on their insecurities. Yes, they do. They do. I think when you haven't got a whole lot going for you, you take it out on other people, and it's easy to take it out on celebrities because a lot of people don't see celebrities as people, or they just see them as fair game just because they're rich and famous. Sandy, people are waking up those on royals for who they are. They're so entitled, arrogant, and dry-eyed. Chucky and Voldemort. The names. It's always the names. With these revelations, they think all is well. Poor fools. Yeah. I mean, can you listen? If Meghan had been friends in high school with Osama bin Laden's pet dogs, groomers, sisters, brothers, next door neighbors, lawn mowers, couch shiners, laundry lady, there would be outrage. But let Charles take money directly from the bin Laden family, mute silence. The double standard is just glaring. Mercy, Doctors of Impact is asking us to buy a copy. Oh, yes, I remember you said this the other day. Yes. Yes, please do that. If you know little ones or you want to donate to a library, please do that. Black Queen, the colonizers destroyed every humanity that they came in contact with and continue to do so today. Well, look at France and Haiti. France is still taking money from Haiti, and this is despite even the IMF saying you need to stop taking money from them. But they can't because I think France actually has some of the highest debt of any country in Europe. So they literally just can't stop the colonizing. They'll be colonizing for generations to come, unless these countries take a stand and say enough is enough. High positive vibes. You're here to be another positive voice. Yes, and not to discourage newbies at all. Please do enter the space and create your own platforms and spaces. We'll always help you. But just in general, to be suspicious, because it's so obvious that they've turned Twitter in particular into some kind of front line, when out of the cyber world, in reality, people can see what's going on, and they've had enough. I mean, how many more articles about Meghan did this, Meghan did that can we all stand? Even the haters are starting to get tired of it. Even they're bored. A Black Queen, good on that Australian politician lady. She's standing bravely on the right side of history. Yes, she'll be remembered. Especially, I am so ready for archetypes. Oh my god, me too. Please bring on archetypes. I'm so sick of talking about William and dildos. Oh my god, I just said the word again. I'm gonna get flagged. Oh, Megan, please release archetypes on your birthday so we can stop talking about your brother-in-law. Had enough. It was funny though, wasn't it? Kathy, I believe Diana would have loved Megan and low Kate and be disappointed in Willie. Yeah, I think so too. Canetha, Angela Levin's book will be out in November. Okay, man, that's it's going to be a doozy, isn't it? But yeah, I'm looking forward to Harry's book because I feel like there's so much, especially about him growing up, that we're going to get to hear from his mouth and from his perspective, not all these years what the press were telling us about him. Anastasia, what the hell? That woman has a book coming out. I bet the book is full of BS and lies. Well, this book is meant to be a biography about Camilla, but how much do you want to bet they're going to turn it into a bitch fest about Harry? It's like with Rob Jobson's book. And somebody actually, I think I read it out on this podcast. Somebody had bought the book and commented in the review and said, I bought a book about William and it was about it was about Harry. And this was a book about William's 40th birthday. On William's 40th birthday, 40 years of his life, all a so-called royal expert could write about was his brother. Dang. Leving is completely obsessed and she needs money. Yes, 100%. With Levin, I'm telling you, it is not just about the money. I truly believe that she is like obsessed. Actual human vampires. Kat Harlem, I wonder if Angela was the only person willing to write a book about Camilla. That is a good point. That is such a good point. Because really, who would want to write a book about Camilla? You'd have to be doing, you'd have to do a lot of glossing over. You'd have to spend some time with her, getting material from the book, interviewing her, maybe even some social time with her. And you'd literally just be writing a book of porcupines. And yeah, who would want to write a book? Can't think of anyone. Camilla Tominey, maybe. I guess they went with Levin. Camilla's busy. Vanessa, has Angela ever been married? I I think she is. I think she is. I do remember in that article her saying, yeah, I think she said something along the lines of I've met someone and I'm happy. That article where she was talking about her mother hating her. I think she did mention that she was married, yes. It's not a very difficult article to find. So if you want the definitive answer to that question, just go find the article. It should be in there. Emerald, unhappy people try to tear down other people to make the miserable lives seem okay. Yes, that is absolutely true. Sharon, Levin must have a female family member she wanted Harry to meet and marry. I think she's the female family member she wanted Harry to meet and marry. It's just so creepy. Gail Lewis, at least in New Zealand, we had a treaty from the start. What Australia has a very Black history, we First Nations peoples. It's begun to be addressed now, yes. And it's very difficult to push back against it. I have a friend who lives in Australia, and she does struggle with the casual racism. All right, sorry, but I am going to have to speed through your comments and give someone the last word of the day. Cinderella, she's married and has 3 sons and lives in London. Wow. Okay, there's your answer. Uh, Levy, who's going to buy Levin's book? Who's interested? Radio silence. I tell you who's going to buy her book. Anyone who wants to hear trash being talked about Harry, because that's what that Camilla biography is going to be. It's going to be Trash Talking Harry, and that's who's going to buy it. Cat Harlem, yes, Angela Levin's hashtag Angela Levin's mother was right about her. Get it trending. All right, who's getting the last word of the day? Let's see. All right, Kim Hamilton, I'll give you the last word of the day. Great podcast. Thank you very much, Kim. And have a great Monday, everyone. Yes, have a fantastic Monday. Have a fantastic week. And we are in the month of August. It is Sussex month. And I am 99.99% sure that we will get archetypes this month. If not on Meghans' birthday, and I do think it's coming on Meghans' birthday, we will get that archetypes this month. So enjoy yourselves for the rest of the day, my lovelies, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.